First and foremost, giving out praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakodash, the honors to the apostles and the elders that do rule well at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the sincere Akim out there pushing His gospel in sincerity and truth. Say shalom to the humble and sincere sisters out there as well. This lesson will be entitled, How Can He Be Good to Another? I'll make this a quick edification on Esau, Edom, right? The so-called white man, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the fact of the matter is, if Esau can't even be good to himself, how do you Jakes expect him to be good to you? I know again to it one time in the book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 5. It says, He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Right? So he, a man that is evil to himself, you understand? How could he be good to another man? I want you to really understand the so-called white man, the elites of Edom. They pollute the air. Israelites breathe the air. These other nations breathe the air. But Edom breathes the air as well. They poison the air that their own people have to breathe. Right? That one. The water we drink, they add all manner of chemicals to it. But they themselves have to drink the water as well. They have to bathe in the water. They have to use the water to wash with, and right? So they defile and pollute the water that they themselves have to partake of, like two. The food we eat, you understand? They with all the GMO foods, the genetically modified organisms, right? All these steroids they pump into these cows, into these chickens, right? How many times I heard of people buying cheese, putting it in the microwave or on the stove, and the cheese not melting, right? So plastic, right? And all different manner of defiling taking place with the foods that we eat. All manner of steroids and chemicals being pumped into it, all manner of mixture of different meats and all these things, right? And to prove that the food we eat really in top notch, because why? It have an increase in heart problems, an increase in brain problems, you understand? Diseases and all manner of sicknesses at a increase, obesity, you understand? All these things because of the foods. We know ultimately is the Lord, but the way so you could say that the Lord, use the fact that he saw polluting the foods to bring about that. You understand? And the foods that he saw polluting, his own people have to eat. So he pollutes the air that his people breathe, the water that they drink, the food that they eat. This poison that was going around, right? The so-called cure. He gave his own people it. His own people, right? So if he could do all these things to himself and his people, what makes you think that Esau have a inch of love in his heart for our people he reputes as nothing? Right? Verse 5, He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. And that is Esau. He doesn't take pleasure in his goods, right? And it further proves this point in verse 6. It says, There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. So the so-called white man, right? They have the fatness of the earth. They in control of the earth, but Esau isn't satisfied with that, right? He ain't taking pleasure in those goods. He ain't satisfied where he at right now. Esau wants to be like the Most High. You understand? He wants to be like the Lord, right? He wants full control, full power and dominion. and full rulership over this earth, and not just the earth, but the entire universe. All of reality and creation, Esau wants control of it. And I said this is a recompense of his wickedness, because by him pursuing this goal, right, he digging this hole, this grave, he gonna fall in it, right? Because they building these nukes to conquer these other nations and to conquer the Lord, not knowing that those same weaponry gonna be used for his own destruction. Verse 7 is saying if he do it good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. What did he do with these Native Americans? Did he come wicked? No. He came gentle. He came harmless as a dove to our brothers. And what did he do? He declared his wickedness at the last. When he won their trust, that is when he get in the shaft. So what do you think the so-called white man gonna do with this MOTB? You understand? What do you think he did with the poison? You see all this manna information came out after everybody get it, that it's only 6 months immunity and it can't protect, and people that take it still dying, and people that took it died from it, right? Where was all this information in the beginning? He had to wait till the end to declare the things that he real agenda. So in the last, right, in the last, Esau will be made bare, and when the devil shows his teeth, then you will see who the so-called white man truly is. When the Lord stir up that spirit that he put within them, you will come to understand who Esau really is. He's not the sweet old white man. Alright, this is Sirach chapter 4 verse 17. Salakia 41 verse 7. It says, the children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Right? And we know when you take this in context, say they the Lord, right? He's talking about Israel. Right? Okay, read verse 8. They say, woe be unto you ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High God. Right? Because the law was only given to Israel. So it will be all people complaining of ungodly fathers. But you could use this as well to show that the so-called, the regular Edomites, they complaining about their government, right? I think it was in Australia. They was chanting, you could take that coat, virus poison, right? You could shove that virus poison up your ass, alright? And they'd be rioting and going on strike and complaining of our ungodly father, right? Their own people complaining about them. You understand? Their own people complain about them, because the scripture says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked be rule, the people mourn. Right? So they as well will complain of ungodly father, ungodly leaders, ungodly rulers. You understand? Because to show how it is, the elites, right? They would send their own men in this military system. They would send their own sons and daughters to die for their greed. Esau ain't fighting no righteous war in the Middle East. Esau, the only reason they're in the first place is because they wanted the gold, and they wanted mostly the oil. You understand? They wanted the resources of those lands. And Esau has no problem sending his own sons and daughters, his own people, to die for that greed. You understand? So what makes you think they have any form of love in their heart for us if they hate their own selves? You understand? And this is what Israel had to come to realize. so-called white man cares about no one, not even himself. The book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3. It said the wicked are estranged from the womb. They're born wicked. They're born wicked, you understand? They say they go astray as soon as they be born. Speaking lies, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her air. You understand? The wicked are estranged from the womb that Esau. You understand? As soon as they be born, as soon as they form, all that come from them is lies and wickedness and poison. This is what the so-called white man is, the border of wickedness. Edom is the border of wickedness. Right? It don't take that much sense to look at America and see for yourself why they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. It's quite clear to see. It's quite clear and vivid. Look at the philosophies and the doctrines that they push in America. Look at how the whole world has adapted America's customs, the music, the way they dress, the philosophies and doctrines, the teachings, the way of life. The same way in Greek, I believe the term is Hellenization, right? Adapting the Greek ways. This world has adapted America's ways, right? The new Rome's ways, right? And you see for yourself that the things that they adapted is wickedness. You understand? Is nothing but wickedness. So you continue to trust the so-called white man and see where it would lead you. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 13. It says, consider the work of Yahweh, for who can make that straight which he had made crooked? So who among the people could make the so-called white man love Israel? You understand? Who could make Esau love Jacob? There's none. Because nobody could make Esau upright when the Lord created him to be crooked, to be imperfect, to be wicked and evil and backbiting, to be that man of war that he is, you understand? That animal like man, that man of greed and destruction and peril. That is what Esau is. He's not a man of peace. He don't understand peace. America has never seen peace, right? Either they in a war or a war brewing. You understand? It's never in peace because they don't know what is peace. Look at Russia and Ukraine. You would think to yourself, well, hey, they're two nations. That is Esau killing Esau for land. You understand? That is Esau killing Esau because, you know, Russia don't want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. Russia and Germany, all it's like Edomites killing Edomites. To talk about that in Revelation 6. Revelation chapter 6 verse 4, it said, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That is what they do. They kill each other, right? They don't get tired. Okay, say they to take peace from the earth, so they do inflict pain on these other nations, but they inflict pain on themselves as well. They kill one another. So ask yourself, men that have no problem killing each other, men that pollute air, water and food that their own people have to live by, you understand, giving their own people medicine, giving them poison in the form of medicine, and all these things. If they could deceive and harm their own people and kill their own people, what makes you think that they wouldn't do that to us, or that they feel differently towards the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman? You understand? Esau is the wicked. Esau is the wicked man, and the wicked man will always be wicked. And with that, all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Makakodash. Shalom.